Dear friends, on this First Sunday of Lent, I come to you with a heavy heart because this weekend, a dear friend, close to me like a sister, was buried in my hometown, Adoache. There are moments in life when words fail you, when you are faced with tragedy, pain, sadness, sorrow, and grief. I dedicate this homily to the eternal memory of Professor Virginia Ugoibo Okudelunzu, a great woman, an outstanding academic, but a happy soul who left us so soon. When I spoke with her aged mother 2 days ago, I could not hold back my tears when this woman, faithful to God all her life, said to me, "Father, I do not know what to do. My daughter worked so hard, and at 49, when she was about to begin to enjoy the fruits of her labor, someone, a doctor who didn't know what he was doing, created this tragedy, and she bled to death." So my whole community is in mourning, and we need prayers because we have lost a diamond worthy of heaven. In my sorrow, I turn to the Lord. I don't know about you. What do you do in those moments when you do not know what to do? You do not know what to say. You do not have words to capture the depths of your pain, your sorrow, and your anguish. Brothers and sisters, in the readings for this first Sunday of Lent, I find some passages that give me hope, that give me encouragement, and that give me comfort. If you are like me, there are moments like these in your life when you're going through trials and tribulations, when a loved one dear to you dies in tragic circumstances, or when you are visited with tragedy at the personal level, you lose your job, or like that man who said to me a few years ago at the entrance of the church when I went to preach a Lenten mission. I was preaching about finding beauty in life. This man was so sad. At the end of the Mass, he came to me and said, "Father, when everything is moving well for you, you can indeed find beauty in life. But not when you have few months to live, or when your partner leaves you, when you're going through a terrible time, when you have few months to live, and your spouse says, 'Well, I can't live with this.' Not when you lose everything that you have, money, family, health. Then you know that there is no beauty in this life. The Lord says to us in the second reading, St. Paul writing to the Romans, that no one who believes in God will be put to shame. Psalm 91 The responsorial psalm that we said for this first Sunday of Lent says to us that God will be with us in our times of trouble. And I'd like to invite you to think of the message of Moses to the people of Israel in the first reading, reminding them how they wandered in the desert for many years. How many of them died in the desert? How many of them lost faith and lost hope and perished? How many people they lost? The oppression they suffered in the hands of their oppressors. The suffering, the tears. But he says, in the end, the Lord saved you with his strong hand, with his outstretched arm, with terrifying power, and with signs and wonders. In the end, yes, they went through all these, but in the end, God triumphed. They went through all these trials and tribulations. In the end, God was victorious in them. Again, in the gospel, we see Jesus going through his temptations. And really, what strikes me is that it was not one temptation. It was not two temptations. It was more and more. He conquers this one, he overcomes this one, then another, then another, then another. In the end, he overcame. But we hear at the end of the gospel, the devil departed for another day. It's not that when you overcome this temptation today, that's the end of temptations in your life. Or when you overcome this sickness, that you will not have another. Or when someone dear to you dies, that you will not have another tragedy happen to you. That's the reality of our lives. That's the uncertainty of our lives. But the promise is that those who believe will not be put to shame. And that is why I ask you, what helps me in my own journey is what St. Augustine advises all Christians to do. Fix your gaze on God. Turn toward God and not toward yourself. If you turn in on yourself, you will only see your weaknesses, your pain. You will not find the answer. You will find human answers. You will only look for natural reason, human reasoning. But when you turn toward God, when you place God at the center, the circumference will all align. When you place God at the center, you will find that God can and does redeem your story. And that is what Lent offers us, brothers and sisters, a time to turn toward God so that God can redeem our stories. A time to turn toward God so that God can give us hope again. A time to turn toward God so that we don't rely on our strength, but on the grace that comes from heaven above. A time to turn toward God so that we do not rely on our power, but that kind of power that comes from God, the almighty power, the outstretched arm, the saving signs and wonders. May Jesus be with each and every one of us in all our trials and tribulations. May we look beyond the shadows unto the one who leads us on every day. The one who overcame his own temptations and trials and knows what it means for each and every one of us to be going through trials and tribulations. And may the hand of the Lord be upon you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.